You're listening to episode 95 of Fresh Floppies.
That's not the Noel voice.
I'm sorry.
Who's this mother... Anyway. Welcome. What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into Fresh Floppies, a show wherein Noel and I, not today, this is Jeremy.
Hi.
Hi, Jeremy. Welcome.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Where would the people know you from?
From JDsHeroComplex.shop Hero Complex.
Yes. Yeah, Noel is on vacation. That mother lover went to Italy? What a jerk.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's been texting us about how much fun he's having. And I went to Acme and bought some groceries this morning. So he's definitely having a better time. But he's not here for this show. So we're having the better time. F that dude.
Clearly.
He's going to be gone for a little while. So Jeremy is nice enough to sub in and talk about some comics with us.
Hi, friends.
Because that's what Fresh Floppies is all about. We talk about the books that are coming out new comic book day. Hopefully I will be able to edit this and post it today, new comic book day, Wednesday. But we're going to be talking about the books, a smattering, a handful, a skosh of books that are coming out today, but without spoilers. So don't worry your pretty little faces about it. Hey, let's start with I'm saying the biggest release of today, this week, is Invincible Universe Battle Beast.
Let's do it, brother.
In Image Comics from Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley and Annalisa Leone. Jeremy.
Ready.
Do you have any Invincible Universe experience at all?
I have zero. No comic experience, no show experience, very minimal, honestly, no knowledge.
So first of all, how dare you?
Fair.
Why?
Because I'm really bad at reading comics as someone who really enjoys comics.
You get so many of them. Do you just take them home and
yes.
put them under your your cat in your cat box? Like why?
I particularly enjoy organizing comics alphabetically into boxes.
Yeah.
And then looking at those stacks. Sometimes I stack them up vertically so I feel like a wizard in a library.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. That's nice.
Yeah.
And then I'll open the windows. So that a nice breeze comes through and rattles all the paper.
Right.
It sounds really
And also when it rains, everything gets moist and wrinkly, and I can call myself a great collector.
That's my favorite part of comics is how wrinkly they get when wet. We rate things here on this show on a scale of barely fresh to fresh AF.
Okay.
To be fair, all of those ratings are just... It feels.
Vibes.
It's really just vibes. It's feels. There's no actual 5-star rating to designate. It's just like that was barely fresh, or that was fresh enough. So having no interest. I didn't say no interest. No experience in Invincible Universe. How did you like Battle Beast?
I enjoyed it as someone who enjoys a good space story and a fun adventure. I think it was a good time.
Yeah.
And as someone who doesn't have any Invincible experience, as far as I could tell, there's only one maybe direct reference to Invincible, at least visually. Otherwise, I did not feel left out. They did a pretty decent job of explaining at least what this Battle Beast guy's vibe and goal is. So I was down for it.
He says it explicitly.
Yeah,
he has
exactly.
a conversation with an AI where he tells you his entire deal.
Yeah, which I appreciated personally.
Yeah. And his deal is pretty basic. It's Battle Beast is super strong, and all he wants is someone to give him a worthy fight, a worthy death.
He's also super angry.
He's a lot of rage. He's just constantly on Twitter, just arguing with people, and he has yet to find the person who can defeat him, and that's really his whole goal.
Yeah.
So when I heard that they were doing a Battle Beast comic, I was like, what are they possibly going to do? Because he's been woven throughout the entirety of the Invincible series, the comic book series, and the show, and there's not a lot to the guy.
I assume that he comes in and out as a baddie, right? Or is he...
Not really. He's not even just a baddie. Like, he fights people. Like, you see him in the beginning here. I think this might be his first appearance, where he shows up on Earth and fights Invincible and wrecks the Guardians of the Globe. And then it's just like, oh, this sucked. What did he say? This is not a good day.
Yeah.
And then he just pieces out. So, it's basically, I would say, an exercise specifically to get Ryan Ottley the most masterful blood artist in the world. I've always been very taken with the way he draws blood, and so and violence, and so it's just a heavy metal kind of like book of violence. Is kind of what I would say.
He very much strikes me as a Lobo type character.
Oh, yeah.
And as you were kind of saying, it's conceptually simplistic of what this adventure and story is about. But I think that the execution of it is so satisfying, along with the character himself being absurd enough to be funny, that I think it all works out.
Yeah, it gels pretty well.
Yeah.
And as far as presentation, fresh AF. I think the presentation you've got, it's a pretty thick issue. You've got really nice cardstock quality and paper. Like this is a good looking book.
Like the cover has that soft matte feel, which I'm a sucker for, dude.
Good. Oh, it feels so good.
It really does.
I'm gonna rub it. So, and the other thing that most folks who aren't retailers don't know about Robert Kirkman is that my man loves comic shops, and he will do his damnedest whenever he can to help comic shops out, retailers. One time he did like whatever you ordered in Invincible, I think it was, he sent you a free new his new #1 comic for free. Like, you usually get 15 issues of Invincible. We're going to send these 15 copies of this issue #1 for free. It's just going to show up in your box as a surprise.
Oh, wow.
For you to sell.
Love that.
So that you can try this new, I forget what the comic series actually was, but it was basically, here's my new shit for free. Which is awesome.
Dope.
Yeah. And then if you like it, if you find that you can sell this book, order some. So he did that. And then with most recently the Energon universe, he was starting a new series called Void Rivals. And the big secret that nobody knew until the book released was that it was the entryway into the Energon universe, which tied together both Transformers and G.I. Joe, because now Kirkman and Image have the rights to those IP.
That was so good.
So good.
That reveal was awesome.
And luckily, because I only ordered a handful of copies, I was like, it's a new series. I don't know anything about it. It sounds kind of like an old movie from the 80s called Enemy Mine. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to care. And then we got on a Zoom call with him. Where
really?
He was like, hey, guys, here's why you want to order this book. Because when everyone finds out that this is G.I. Joe and Transformers, you're probably going to sell out. So I tripled my order from what I was going to get. To be like, I didn't know that. So anyway, it's stuff like that. And then the reason I'm bringing it up is because today on the shelves for Invincible Universe Battle Beast #1, there are red blind bags.
Oh, a variant, I assume?
Of variants, but they're not just variants. They're not just different covers. I'm not going to spoil anything more than that, but it's not just a different cover to this issue.
Interesting.
There are a smattering of different surprises in the blind bags, which I think there was a phone call I could have gotten on for this, a Zoom call, and I skipped it. And I was like, I know what this is. So I didn't find out until today, and I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool.
Can you answer without revealing anything? Is it additional things within or on the book, or is it in addition to the book itself?
See, that's a good question, because you may wind up with an issue that's not Battle Beast #1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought this was rad as hell. I really enjoyed this. I'm so glad to be back in the Invincible universe. It's one of my all-time favorite series / universes. And seeing Ryan Otley back on a book, god damn it, I love his art so much.
How long has it been since we have had Invincible content? Or I guess comic content, not show.
Let's see. On the back here, it's kind of weird for me. After writing over 144 issues of Invincible over the course of 16 years, I started writing the pilot episode of the animated series matter of weeks after finishing writing the final issue. It doesn't say how long it's been. I'm going to say maybe almost 10 years since, because he's done series after that. And they had long runs too.
Yeah.
So I want to say maybe 10 years since we've last been in the Invincible universe. But yeah, if you're into it at all, I say check it out. And it's not, from what I can tell, it's not going to be just about Battle Beast. They're expanding the Invincible universe And you're going to see familiar faces all throughout. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's not just a Battle Beast miniseries or something.
Great.
Fresh AF for me. What do you say?
I would say
Barely fresh? Pretty fresh?
I would
Freshest?
say pretty fresh. As someone who doesn't have the emotion or necessary appreciation for Invincible, it is a perfectly fine adventure story.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something that I would personally continue without further context.
Sure.
But I also wasn't left out and, left satisfied.
Nice.
So
If you out there in listener land are curious, Invincible is one of my all-time favorite series. Go read it from the beginning. You can get it in compendiums. There's 3 of them. It's awesome. So what else came out this week? I'll tell you. It's Absolute Batman. DC presents All In, Absolute Batman number 8 by Scott Snyder and Marcos Martin.
this was some good stuff.
Yeah, man, I love Marcos Martin. He is a longtime favorite of mine, and I think just recently I was like, whatever happened to that dude, Marcos Martin? Turns out he's drawing some Absolute Batman. Now, you are familiar with Absolute Batman. This isn't your first issue of that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I can make contributions.
Yay! I read 7 and 8 last night.
Mm-hmm.
I had to catch up. I was a little behind.
Can you remind me?
Okay.
I remember Batman approaching Freeze.
Yes.
I truthfully forget why exactly
Oh.
in the previous issue.
So basically, there's this company, and I forget the. Oh, that's so disgusting.
Oh God.
Yeah, the last issue was like pretty gross, especially if you got I think it's called tryptophobia.
Oh yeah. With holes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there is basically this construction happening in Gotham, or right across from Gotham, called Arc M.
Space letter M.
Yeah. Instead of Arkham, it's Arc M. Massive black site they're building right off the coast of Gotham. The crew building it is private. Some company called JK.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get on that crew. I will. So, basically, Bruce sees that there is this black site, and also Matches Malone. Do you know the name Matches Malone at all?
I do not.
He
outside
is
of this context.
Long-time kind of character. Matches Malone, I don't think ever existed. Matches Malone is Bruce Wayne / Batman's alter ego when he wants to go snoop around in, like, I don't know, a bar where there's a lot of criminals without being discovered. Like, he's a well-known criminal in Gotham, like
Gotcha.
kind of like a very small potatoes type criminal, but everyone knows Matches.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's basically Bruce Wayne with a disguise on.
Love it.
So that they don't know that he's Bruce Wayne. But in this book, they've actually given life to a character named Matches Malone, who dies a very horrible and gruesome death, and that sends Batman on this mission.
Right. That's the investigation that brings him to Freeze, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
And this was all the previous issue 7. I
Yeah,
believe.
so it's not spoilers for this issue. And we find out that this is their son. This isn't Victor Freeze Sr., this is Victor Freeze Jr.
Right.
And it turns out that being frozen is very painful. I think that's a thing that I've never seen touched on in pop culture, the idea of, oh, you're sick, you want to live a long time, so you're going to freeze your body, and then they'll thaw you out in the future when things are better, or they can cure your disease. And we find out that they did that to their son, Victor Jr., and he was awake the whole time.
Right.
Like,
We
he
always
could feel
see
everything.
We always see freezing as like you said, either in a time travel-esque context or like a space travel, things like that, of just like being put in stasis.
Oh, you're just sleepy, and you're just going to hold onto your body, and you're going to be in a comfortable
But
sleep.
no, this is painful, and you are conscious.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Covered in ice.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. And then there's some body horror. Like, I was not expecting this Freeze to be a big old squiggly guy.
Neither was I.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, in Batman, I understand there are things like the Joker, who has bleached skin and all, and has crazy what would you call them, recipes for toxins and what have you. But most of his characters, I feel like, are street level no goodniks, or people who just want to like beat him or take over Gotham.
Right.
He doesn't do a lot of this type of almost supernatural
Right.
people.
Or just like monster transformation type
Yeah, I mean, there
guys.
is literally
Except for
Man-Bat, right?
Yeah. No, you're right. As soon as I said it, I was like, actually, I'm
That's
incorrect.
Man-Bat, yeah. So I just thought that was strange. I'm used to Victor Fries being just like a dude in a suit.
Sure.
But
Same.
the fact that he's this kind of almost like a, he reminds me of a Junji Ito character where he's like elongated and stretched out for no real reason that I can discern.
Yeah. It's also like, it's interesting because when we first see him, he is normal human.
Yeah.
And then suddenly reveals himself as mutated Iceman.
Yeah.
And we don't really see how he achieves that, or rather hides it. Mm-hmm. He just kind of turns into it, which I didn't think about until now. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, I've got black skin and blue veins all over my body.
Yeah.
I imagine he'll be able to shrink back into regular Freeze.
Right.
But the other thing that's actually really cool about this the 3-parter, I'm not sure how many parts this storyline is going to be, but the fact that he's also, while dealing with all of this stuff with Victor Fries Jr. and the death of Matches Malone, it's interspliced with a silhouette conversation that's happening in Crime Alley between him and his friends.
And now we're fully talking about issue 8 of the latest one, which
it's both issues, isn't it?
You may be right. I know
they
you're right.
It's the whole storyline.
Never mind.
But yeah, but also here, yes.
Yes.
So it's like his friends, who are usually in other universes his rogues gallery, who are now his friends in the Absolute universe, coming to terms with Bruce being Batman. They found out in the last story arc.
And I think those relationships are my favorite part of this whole Absolute Batman.
Yup.
Because in my opinion, that is the biggest difference between, main canon Batman and Absolute Batman, where like this guy has actual pseudo normal relationships.
Yeah.
And how does that influence an otherwise normal person who is doing totally abnormal things?
Yeah.
When there's people who care about him, it's good.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine are one by one going to turn into his villains.
Right. One would hope.
So yeah. But yeah, I love that about this. That is the emotional tether, I think, for this series for me, is him and his little cadre of buds,
for sure.
poker chads. What was it? One more thing I wanted to say, and I don't remember what also, I'm not used to Bruce being able to just walk in anywhere. Because in most cases, he is the world's one of the most famous people in the world, right? And everyone knows Bruce Wayne's face. And this one's just like, it's just a construction worker. I'm just a guy.
Yeah, he went into Freeze's facility as like a maintenance guy or something, or like a city worker.
Yeah. Yeah. No one has any idea.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
That's kind of cool too. So yeah, this series continues to slap. I actually like this storyline better than the first storyline.
I agree.
I'm like really into this.
Yeah, me too.
Really good.
This series specifically, I found the first issue personally a little underwhelming, and that could have been just a consequence of some of my own expectations.
Yeah.
But it has only grown on me as it's continued,
Same.
which isn't the usual arc of a comic series, and I'm a big
Usually
fan.
It starts off strong and then it kind of peters out. This is just getting better as it goes, 100%. So speaking of first issues, Exquisite Corpses Season 1, Issue 1 from Image Comics by one of my favorites, James Tynion, and art by Michael Walsh, colors by Jordi Belair, letters by Becca Carey. This is, I want to say this is almost maybe 2.5 issues in one package.
Yeah.
It is a thick boy. And it's only $4.99.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite book of the week. This was awesome.
Of what I've read so far, 100%.
Did you not get to the end?
No, I mean of what I've read of this week's comics so far.
Oh, I see.
Absolutely my favorite. I did absolutely get to the end.
Awesome. I would not be surprised if this was turned into like a series.
No,
on a show on like HBO or something like that.
I agree.
Mac's the one to watch for HBO. This is awesome. There's a ton of world building. It's all exposition. And that doesn't bother me at all.
No.
For the way that this is presented is very fun. And even in the back, you get this bracket.
Yes.
Of you can vote. You can write in who you think is going to win. And then at the very end, coming 2026, start collecting your killers now. There is a card that you can cut out of the issue and keep for Exquisite Corpses, the game. So I'm trying to think how to do this elevator pitch. It's basically
Me too. I'm conflicted.
13 of the world's richest families, right? And then each of them, because we all know that the rich run the world.
Sure.
Every 5 years, I believe, they will sequester a small town, buy it out, basically, still filled with people, and then hire 13 serial killers or assassins or dishonorably discharged military, etc., to, I guess, hunt each other down, and whoever's champion wins at the end of the night will have full reign of the world for the next 5 years.
It is effectively Hunger Games, where these fighters and characters are being represented and sponsored by these 13 richest families.
Yeah.
And yes, whoever wins, whatever family they represent, now rules all the other families for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's 13 families, and from what I can tell, I think in association with the first 13 states of the U.S.
And then that's the first thing I clocked is you open it up, and I think at one point you see a flag.
Yes.
The first thing you see is a flag, and I'm like, oh, that's the original. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's the
13
original
logo.
Yeah. What did you say? Do you like this?
I love this. This was so
good.
It starts off very unassuming, although the art very obviously alludes to something dark and sinister happening. Very well established vibe, but only a few pages in, you get what feels like a really big mystery, but you don't know what the mystery is yet.
Yeah.
You know that something that shouldn't be happening is happening,
Right.
and that's all you can really tell. And then it goes 0 to 100 so quickly, and I love when they introduce some characters. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is inspiration from, I don't know if you've ever played at the Borderlands games.
Yep. That's what I was thinking. You get that the quick zoom in and the big splash behind the character, and it's like, oh, this is that character and that character's name.
Yeah. So we get introduced to, among many, these 13 killers, and they all get their own little Borderlands intro, and it's very fun.
Yeah. Oh man, and I love the art on this. Michael Walsh is the writer artist. I'm trying to think. Maybe he's the artist. That's what it is. There was a book called Silver Coin, and it was a horror anthology all about this haunted coin. And every issue, I believe, was drawn by Michael Walsh, but each issue was written by a different character and had a completely different story. And it's like the first one is this rock and roll bassist comes across this coin and he uses it as a pick for his bass, and then everything melts and burns down, and
Naturally.
it always brings bad luck. Like it makes him the most famous bassist in the world, but then everything goes wrong, like Monkey's Paw style.
Right. Worth it.
So yeah, it's a very fun series. And then I'm glad to see him here. Oh, he also did Frankenstein. Did he do Frankenstein? Oh, I put it on the shelf. Where'd it go? Anyway, that's another one that's really good. Frankenstein is basically the movie or the story of Frankenstein, but through the perspectives of different characters that we've never seen before.
Oh.
Super good.
Love
yeah,
that
just came out in a hardcover a couple weeks ago. Highly recommend that as well. But yeah, man, Exquisite Corpses. I don't know how long this story is supposed to be. I don't know if it's an ongoing or if it's, 13 issues, if there's 13 characters. But, this is really good. I highly recommend this.
And it's a thick issue. It takes its time, but it doesn't feel slow.
Right.
It feels perfectly appropriately paced. Once you settle into what's happening, I was totally lost in it. So big fan. I also didn't notice what you mentioned at the very beginning, that it was listed as season 1, issue 1, which I find very intriguing.
Yep.
I don't know what that implies, but
to me, given my druthers, I would hope that, because James Tynan and Noel will agree with me on this, it tends to keep stories going maybe a mite longer than they need to.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that this season is 13 issues, and then the next season will be a 5-year jump to the next quote-unquote Hunger Games.
I would love that.
And you get all new different killers.
Yeah.
And, a different town, right? That's what I would hope. And it's not just the killers. Like, you're spending some time with some of the townsfolk as well. So you get a little bit of tether to some pathos and what we actually care about these characters and hope they don't get murdered. Yeah. So
Yeah, we do get a good introduction to the town itself, the people who live there, and it becomes very clear that they are now very much in danger.
Yeah, they're in the crosshairs. God damn it, this was good. Highly
so fun.
recommend. This is my book of the week. Exquisite Corpses. Grab it. I think that's all the things that we both read. You read one and I read one that the other did not read. You go.
Correct.
What do you got?
I read SpiderVerse versus VenomVerse, which, similar to Invincible, I actually am not coming in with a lot of SpiderVerse or VenomVerse experience, which sometimes is, in my opinion, the more fun way to do things.
Yeah.
But this, as one can assume, it's very much, the web of life and destiny versus the hive mind, I believe.
Yeah. The symbiotes.
The symbiotes. Symbiotes.
Symbiotes. Sybilis.
Yeah, we get a little introduction of effectively comparing Spider-Man to Venom and their mutual and contrasting experiences, and then in typical, verse fashion, people get yoinked from their reality and end up in an entirely new situation. And Spider friends and Venom friends have to go at each other.
Yeah.
And it seems it's fun. I do have some of these characters ring a bell. Some of these are totally new to me. If you've seen the SpiderVerse movies, you'll recognize a couple characters. Again, as someone who hasn't read the SpiderVerse comics, as a Venom fan who has jumped in and out of some of the recent runs, there are some callbacks to things like, the King in Black and etc. It's a fun time. I like it. And you do get a...
Oh, Spider Pig.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, Spider Pig.
I'm always happy when Spider Pig shows up.
You do get some interesting moments between Peter Parker and Eddie Brock, like personal moments. And it's also... I'm trying to figure out if this is too spoilery. It's also a different Eddie Brock than the one we're used to.
Okay.
But that...
I was wondering.
It adds a couple layers to... Right, because current Eddie Brock is Carnage, right?
Right. Which is also an awesome book.
I just realized...
It's so good.
Once I was reading this, I realized I was behind on that, so I got to catch up.
Yeah, me too.
I think I'm only 2 issues in. It is very good, though. I enjoy it. It seems like there's going to be some really interesting interpersonal conflicts along with some really fun fights, which there are plenty of already.
I don't know this artist. Who is this? Groom? Oh, we didn't even say.
No.
This is by Higgins of Radiant Black and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He's a good writer. I like him. I don't know this artist. Who's this?
I'm trying to find the artist page.
Flipping. Whoops. Here we go. Matt Groom and Kyle Higgins are the writers, and it's Luciano Vecchio. I know Luciano Vecchio. I've seen them a lot.
I don't, but I like the art.
Yeah, it's perfectly cromulent.
That's a new word for me.
It's fine.
Okay.
I think it's very good. Okay. It does the job.
It's nothing that is going to go down in my mental Rolodex of like, wow, this art stood out. But it is clean comic art.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, right? Journeyman art, I would say. Fresh AF, pretty fresh enough. Are you going to read number 2?
I think I will.
Oh,
and
right.
I think it's honestly not even for the big overarching story. I think it's for the interpersonal narratives that we establish in like 2 pages somewhere in the middle. That I'm truthfully more interested in than the overarching, because with comics, the overarching story is always going to work itself out somehow.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the characters and how they develop, and I think I will actually check it out. Yeah.
Oh, right on. Nice. I don't know a lot of these variants. There have been multiple, like Web of SpiderVerse. There's been a ton of SpiderVerse books, and then recently, Death of VenomVerse and Birth of VenomVerse and VenomVerse Goes to College. Like, there's been so many of them that I don't even bother anymore.
I dabbled in VenomVerse as it was coming out, because that's as I started getting to Venom, and I was like, oh, perfect timing.
Yeah.
It was not perfect timing. It was not the best thing to jump into.
Yeah.
It was fun, though.
Oh, good. I haven't read it. I'm probably not going to bother.
It's valid.
I have enough Spider-Man in my life right now.
Yeah, I will say, if you already have your fill of Spider-Man, you're not missing anything.
Okay, good. Okay. Especially since this is not the all-new Venom, which I'm really enjoying.
All New Venom is great.
Yeah, it's so good. And then the one that I read that you did not read is Sophie Campbell and Tamra Bonvillain's Supergirl, #1. celebrating the summer of Superman. This is, so anyone who doesn't know, Sophie Campbell is the creator of the indie book Wet Moon from, I don't know, 15 years ago, which I remember really enjoying. And then she has been doing for the longest time, she did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for IDW. And so now here she is with Supergirl. The last time I read Supergirl was in the New 52, I think. And this is not that version. This is the classic version of Supergirl from like the 70s.
Gotcha.
And this is steeped in continuity for that version of the character. There's so much exposition. It's well done exposition. It's not info dumps,
Right.
but it is like, oh, my parents moved back to my old town. Shoot, like I'm not really excited to go back to that hometown. Like I'm out of there, and I don't want to have to go back. Here are certain elements that I can tell are from the 1970s Supergirl stories. Linda Danvers used to be her name, and now she has a different name. But this town remembers her as Linda Danvers, and she had very, very Silver Agey type elements to her stories. Like she had some sort of magic comb that, when she combs her hair, turns her hair from blonde to brunette,
Sure.
and then when she combs it again, it makes it blonde again.
Perfect. Vibe of the day. I love that.
Yeah, just an easy way to keep her secret identity.
Great.
It was very cool. So yeah, this was actually really fun. I would say if you have kids and you're looking for like a fun, breezy superhero book to give them, this is kind of perfect.
Great.
This is a really great all ages comic. Highly recommend.
And at a glance, the art seems very bright and poppy and saturated and cartoony, like just fun to look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Sophie Campbell a lot, and she works really well with the Sophie Campbell of Wet Moon from 15 years ago. I would not have said, oh yeah, she should be drawing a Big 2 comic book, even though I love the art style.
Right.
Like, God, I love the way she drew characters, like her body types and her facial features and everything. The facial acting was really solid, and it all had this sort of like watercolor or Prismacolor type wash effect to the shading, which I really liked. This is much more poppy, like pop art, very bold lines and just bright colors. But this is really fun. I actually keep up with this. This is really good.
As someone who only has tangential experience with Supergirl via, the normal Superman runs,
Yeah.
do you think this is safe to jump into?
Oh,
Or, like, a good
absolutely.
point?
This
Cool.
gives you everything you need.
Perfect.
And then there's the mystery of a different Supergirl showing up.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Love that.
So yeah, man, I was really surprised at how good this was. But the first thing I noticed was like, oh, this is for the younger crowd. This is like a
Gotcha.
YA book.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with YA, so why not?
Yeah,
So yeah,
of course.
if you got kids or if you just like Supergirl, I say check out Sophie Campbell's Supergirl #1. I don't think was there a dud this week? I don't think there was anything that I was just like, oh, I can't believe I got to finish reading this. It's pretty solid.
Of what we've talked about? No. I mean, it's all been good.
I'm curious about Gwenpool.
Gwenpool's
coming. I haven't read it yet.
Gwenpool I did read. As I feel like I always have to preface, I have not read any previous Gwenpool.
I'm not a big Gwenpool fan.
It was fun
Mhm.
in the way that I assume one would expect a Gwenpool comic to be.
Yeah.
The same jokes and gimmicks that you would expect.
Very meta, is it?
It is.
Like it knows it's a comic book?
It does. It is absolutely a meta comic that knows it's a comic. I mean, the cover that I'm looking at is Gwenpool tearing up a Gwenpool comic.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's-
Deadpool.
Yeah, that's established right off the bat. I am told that the marketing for this book reveals some things that aren't revealed until the end of this book. You're kind of misled throughout, which I thought was a fun time because I didn't have any context going into this.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I likely would not pick up #2.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why someone who is enthusiastic about Gwenpool or some other prominent Spider-Man characters might want to pick it up, especially people who enjoy, Spider-Man's significant histories and
Sure.
incidences and stuff.
I might check it out.
Yeah,
I'm curious enough.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah. I know some folks who are like all about Gwenpool, and I'm like, it's fine. I just don't care. I don't care about Deadpool. I don't care about Gwenpool.
I will say, given how this ends, if you check it out and you tell me that number 2 is good,
Yeah.
I will then
Jump
likely
back on.
continue because
Yeah.
I can see how it would take a turn that I'm into it.
You got to add to your stacks at home for the breeze.
Jesus
Right, the
Christ,
wind
my
and the
stacks.
breeze.
I just looked at my bin that you have for me today, and it's always bigger than I expect.
Yeah.
And it's always a problem, and I don't
That's
know
what
where to
she
put
said.
it all.
Hey-oh.
Nice,
And
thanks.
on that note, so if you listen to this show and also tune in for the weekly live stream Wednesdays at 8 p.m., we are not doing that because neither Noel or Alice, my 2 main co-hosts, are available. So I was going to try and do Clown in a Cornfield by my onesies. And then I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to take a mental health day and just chill out and not do 2 podcasts on a Wednesday.
Love that.
So yeah, not this week, but hopefully we'll be back next week. Man, are you watching Andor?
I'm not,
Dude.
I know.
Oh, wait, you like the Star Wars?
I love the Star
the Wars in the Stars. Did you watch Andor season 1?
Nope.
My brother.
I know.
I'll warn you, it starts slow, but goddamn, is it one of the best shows?
Is it?
You got to stick with it. It's
I've been
really
hearing
good.
exclusively good things, especially now that season 2 is season 2 fully released, or is it like mid?
They have
season?
been releasing 3 episodes a week.
I see. Okay.
So yesterday on Tuesdays at 6:00, they released 10, 11, 12.
Gotcha.
So the season 2, like the series is done.
Oh, the whole series.
The whole series is done.
Interesting.
From my understanding. Yeah. It was supposed to be like a 5-year series.
Mm-hmm.
And then the creator was just like, well, I don't know. That seems a bit long. What if I just did it all in 1 season?
I mean,
And
if
so-
it's paced well, more credit to you. You know.
I would say it's paced interestingly.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind a little bit longer. Like if you were going to do 1 season, make it longer season.
Right.
But it's really good.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad.
awesome. Anyway.
I have a lot of Star Wars shows I need to catch up on.
Yeah. Oh, and there's what's in there? Oh, I still haven't finished the last one. With Atten. It was the Goonies one.
Oh, Skeleton Crew. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't finished that one. And I was listening to a podcast that I really like, featuring Tansy Gardam, and she's been doing episodes about Andor, and she did one about really underrated and much maligned show from Star Wars that came out, was it last year? The Acolyte.
Yes.
I can't say I love that show, but it was a net positive for me.
Yeah.
I almost love that show. There's some issues, but it's some of the best fight choreography in all of the Star Wars. So I was really bummed that got canceled. But yeah, she did a whole episode, and I was listening to that yesterday. And she's got very, very balanced takes, and it's great.
Good. I feel like that's a breath of fresh air
yeah.
in the Star Wars
Going rogue.
realm.
I actually signed up for her Patreon.
Oh, nice.
So the extra bonus episodes. Anyway, all right, that's it. We're done. Thanks so much, Jeremy. This was rad.
Thank you.
This
I'm
was
happy to
awesome.
be here.
Yeah, man. I was a little nervous.
That's fair.
I was like, oh man, I hope he's good on mic.
I am okay.
Yeah. All right. Oh, you're pointing out what, the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we could talk about that real quick.
Well, I just wasn't sure if you wanted to.
Oh, we could do it.
Okay.
Superman trailer just dropped.
It was good.
It was good.
It made me excited.
And one thing you said was like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot in one movie.
Uh-huh.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know how long the movie's going to be. I'm imagining it's going to be 2.5 hours to cram all that.
I feel like it's
gram.
got to be. We saw like a handful of villains and 3 different themes in one trailer. I feel like it's going to take a while to tackle those, which I'm happy to sign up for.
And I got to say, I love that they are tackling what they're tackling in this vis-a-vis other countries.
Yeah.
Awesome. What a fun, cool idea that's going to probably piss off a lot of people.
It seems like using the character of Superman in the best way. And I hoping that they achieve it and execute it well. I'm excited if they do. I'm excited to see it. It's the first superhero movie in a long time that I'm actually excited to watch.
Right?
Yeah.
I have a baseline of excitement for superhero movies. Like I was excited for Thunderbolts and Captain America and all that sort of stuff. But this one I'm like hyped.
Yeah.
I'm like hyped for. And one thing I noticed in this trailer, and one of the things that bothered me in the teaser trailer was someone tosses a Coke can at the back of Superman's head as he's walking past. And the actor flinches ever so slightly. You can see his eye kind of twitch when he gets hit because it's a human being being hit with a can.
Of course.
Even if it's like a prop or very light, you're still going to react to it. Same thing with like people shooting fake guns. You're still going to blink.
Yeah.
Right? And then in this one, the very first thing I noticed was, oh, they edited out that blink. They CG'd his eyes so that he doesn't close.
Interesting.
He doesn't blink.
I did not notice
when that happens. I actually made a quick little edit on my phone of the two side by side.
Wow.
I'll show it
I
to
had
you.
no idea.
Yeah. Because I don't think Superman, like, me and Noel and Randy were talking about it, and like, oh, it's an emotional twitch of like, oh, he's bummed out that he's getting hit by someone who's supposed to, be excited he's there, I guess. But it still felt like making an excuse for what I know is just the actor needed to flinch because that's how the human body responds. So the fact that they CG'd that out and kept the whole scene, I was like, oh, good. Because
Nice.
Superman wouldn't.
So we like the change.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. He would acknowledge, he would know it's there, but it wouldn't make him twitch at all.
No, of course.
So, yeah. Anyway, okay, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go have a Wednesday, new comic book day. Congrats to all of you. Go to your local comic shops and buy some books. And that's it. We will talk at you later. Do-do-do. Say bye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.